Welcome to the Game of Life podcast, where we bring you inspiring softball stories, insightful tips from coaches and players, and explore how the game transcends its boundaries to become a metaphor for life. Whether you're a sports enthusiast, a casual fan, or someone just looking for inspiration, you're in for a treat. We'll unravel the tales that go beyond the scoreboard. Discover how perseverance and hard work on the field translates into resilience in your daily challenges. Learn about teamwork, leadership, and the unwavering spirit that fuels success, not just in sports, but in the game of life.
Hey, how we doing?
We're doing another fun week, and this is always one of the highlights.
Yeah, definitely excited to be back for another episode. Thanks to everybody for listening in. We got a fun topic tonight, a truthful topic. We're gonna be talking about things that you should be wary of or be careful about when you're deciding a travel organization to play for. So, between our experiences and just experiences of, all of our teammates, things we've heard from, fellow college players, just fellow athletes in the community. I think, we have a good list together of things that you should at least take a deeper thought about or think hard about when you're choosing a travel organization to play for. So with that broad topic, I will turn it over to you.
I'm writing a ton of stuff down, and you don't know till you know. Uh, and I always tell, coaching high school now, I always tell the parents because the twisted side of this is our high school team's really good because all the kids play a lot of softball before they get to high school, right? It's not a bad thing. Uh, but you should always question if you see something that maybe is a red flag to your family, it's probably because it is. But at the same token, you only have one shot at this with your kids. So how do you know if everybody's telling you said way, how do you know? Right.
Hmm.
And I'll start off with the first one. I'm just going to say a word and then you go from there and we'll kind of make this list. Uh, Showcases.
Okay. So I think, right, and we're going to do this from the lens to start off of if you want to play in college. And there's even some of these where if you don't want to play in college, they still apply. But if you are on a travel team and you go to showcases, right? Your coach should be able to shift the goal, right? From, oh my gosh, we need to do by all means possible to win, no matter what, we're winning this showcase, right? Winning's important. However, they need to be able to showcase you to the best of your ability, which means if let's say, you're a starting shortstop, whoever's listening, let's say you're the starting shortstop. However, the girl that maybe usually gets a less innings, her number one school that she would love to go to shows up to the game. Put her in. It's not about you anymore, right? Put her in. So I think just stuff like that of do they have your best intentions in heart, right? Is that their priority for getting you to play at the next level, for getting you to reach their goal? Is that their intention?
You played on a travel team where when we were at a showcase, nobody bunted
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't about winning the games. And it doesn't, here's what I,
Unless they were really fast and it was good for them.
yeah, against slappers and bunters.
Yeah.
Well, there was one time you had a teammate steal second, and a college coach said, "I'd like to see him steal again." So your coach sent him back to first base, and the other coach didn't. What are you doing? And she just stole it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it doesn't mean you're not like. I don't want to say when your travel team did stuff like that, you weren't competing. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you were competing at the highest level, but the result wasn't winning. The result was getting kids seen, players seen by coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And if that meant you don't bunt in a bunting situation, or you steal when you're not supposed to, or you bat everybody in the lineup. It had nothing to do with competing. It had everything to do with being seen. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, then there's if it's a showcase, are there even college coaches there? Because if
Right.
there's not, it shouldn't be called a showcase. But I'm talking about showcases where there's coaches there, they're seeing you. I've lived it. I was one of the assistants that would keep an eye on that. And you come up and you see the coaches come up to the dugout and say, "Hey, is so and so playing?" Well,
Mhm.
a good team already has that girl on the field. Like the coach shouldn't even have to ask, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And there can't be a plan to win when the plan's to show people.
Mhm.
But the people you're showing are trying to win. I know I'm rambling a little, but it has nothing to do with competition.
Yeah, I agree.
If it does, it's all about the ego of the coach. I'm sorry. Nothing
Yeah,
more.
I agree. I agree. Which that kind of leads me into my second one if you're ready to move on from
Yeah.
that first one. So, my second thing that I think you should think about when choosing a travel team, does the coach love the game of softball? Yes or no? Because I think it is so contagious when a coach loves the sport that you play. And, there's obviously some people out there who are less, I'm going to say loud about it, if that's the right terminology. However, it's so important when you show up every day to a coach that just loves what they do, right? And it doesn't have to be all that they do, but do they love what they do? And an example I'll give of this is, my team was playing in a showcase this weekend, and a girl on my team made a diving play, and the other coach came up to us and was like, that was sick. Like to me, he loves the game of softball, that other coach does, and that's the type of person that I would want to be around. Yeah, right. They were upset that the ball got caught. It would have scored a run for them. However, they chose to come up to us and say that was an awesome play, man. Like she should be proud of herself. So it's just that type of stuff of can you appreciate when those type of things happen? Do you love the game? Are you going to be contagious to help girls love the game more? Because the thing other people honestly don't want to talk about is sometimes girls switch travel teams, which I'm sure we'll get into, and you can just tell they are defeated by somebody, right? Like they came from an organization where maybe they feel pretty bad about themselves, and having a coach who loves the game is going to help bring out the love of the game for those players too.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, energy's energy. And if you love the game, you're gonna praise small moments and big things by anybody. It doesn't have to be your team. Like to think your team's the only team that can make a play is ridiculous. Uh, I think it's a karma thing too. Yeah, if you just have energy for the game, it's all going to come back to you.
Mhm.
And I think that's a fantastic one.
Yeah, I've found, throughout my career and just hearing stories from other people that that seems to be a common theme that I feel like sometimes gets overlooked somehow, even though this is a game and it's supposed to be fun. So,
All right, you ready for the third one?
hmm.
When coaches brag about their travel record.
Yep. Yeah. I This one's tough, right? Because it's good to be proud of what you do. It's
100%.
100% good to be proud. However, it kind of brings me back to what are your goals, right? I'd rather hear about all the girls that have gotten recruited out of your organization and what they're doing and what teams they play on and are they enjoying their experience. I'd also like to hear about all the awesome showcases that you went to and maybe you lost a game by one, but man, that was a great experience for those girls, right? I think, and I'm gonna be blunt when I say this, if I go to a travel team and they're like, I'm 50-1, I'm like, well, then you're not playing in the right tournaments, respectfully. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me because when I look back to my travel career, and those are the girls I played in college with. Some of our best moments were at these huge showcases where we actually lost, which sounds crazy, but I feel like if you're a player out there, you'll understand what I'm saying. Is those were some of the best memories. You're playing the best competition there is, and you might lose a game here and there, but that's okay because you're getting better and you're getting the full experience.
Yeah, well, and your record's your record. I mean, you can't help it if you're really good and you have a schedule that you started the fall before and you win games, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But here are a couple of the red flags. When your coach worries about pool play record, when your
Hmm.
coach worries about run differential, when your coach is stalling because the games are timed.
Ooh.
Like
Oh,
like
I got thoughts on that one.
yeah, like no, but I haven't seen one high school or college game where the game's timed. Sometimes that's what we have a problem with pitchers is it's a 7 inning game in high school, yet alone college. And what do you mean an hour and a half's up? I've pitched my set innings, we're winning, the other team doesn't have to hit, it's timed, whatever. And there's some places in the country that are trying to get away from the time stuff. I understand the time stuff because you're trying to move traffic all day long and get all the scheduled games in, and they could be nightmares. But if your coach is worried about those things, to me, they're worried about the record for the wrong reasons. I mean, if you're just competing and you have a winning record, I mean, good for you. You probably put together a great team. But if you're trying to do it by not giving your kids more defense or at bats, and you're not going to bat somebody and you're not going to pitch that pitcher to develop them because you can only give up 2 runs on a Saturday. And if you're worried
Yeah.
about pool play, yeah, I remember when you were real little, a couple times, this is where I learned it early on. We were undefeated on Saturdays in a travel tournament. And then Sunday morning, we lose our first game and just get smoked. It's
Smoked.
because
Yeah.
that team didn't use pool play the same way we did. They were playing everybody. And then on Sunday, oh, here we go. Lose and go home. The big dogs pitch in the first game and they just wipe us off the face of the earth. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at. And again, I know I'm long-winded. There was a lot there, but your thoughts?
I mean, I think we've seen it all. I mean, I was part of a game a while ago where it was probably 2 minutes left on the clock. We were getting our last at bat, or the other team was getting a last at bat, and we were trying to get 3 outs so we could roll over to our lineup. All of a sudden, this girl's got to tie not one of her shoes, but both of her shoes, right? Like, it's moments like that where you're like, come on. I mean, it's just, to me, I wouldn't want to play for a coach like that because that's not how I want to win, right? In a game or in life. I don't want to win like that. I want to earn my win. And I think whether it's tying your shoe, oh, I need to go talk to my pitcher. She needs water. I mean, believe me when I say I've seen it
Oh, I
all.
know. I know.
Yeah, it's it's and honestly, like when I hear my if I hear my girls saying it that I get, I'm like, get out there, let's go win. Like go take it. Go take it, right? I'm not telling them they got to sprint out there faster than they normally would, but we're not slowing down, that's for sure. And I just think it's really important that you think about that type of stuff when you think about the coach you want to play for because I don't know, I think to me it's like a morals thing too. Like I don't
Right.
want to win like that and I never would.
Two stories. Do you remember we were young, but we were playing a team in a championship down in PA. So of course, it's exciting to play for championships. There's that part of it that keeps the people, now you decide, do I get a high off this? Do I love this? Do I want to work for this? Or am I just doing it for fun? But a girl on the other team sprained her ankle and had to be taken to the hospital.
Mhm.
The team only had 8 people. And
Yeah.
so it was the last inning, bases were loaded, and that spot in the lineup came up. And the umpire's like, well, it's automatic out number 3. You guys win. And I go to the umpire, listen, just let the next girl hit. Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Yep.
And luckily it was just a ground ball, force play, third.
Right.
But that's a coach that wants to win on merit, wants to win for the right reasons. And what are you playing for? You're not playing for a multi-million-dollar national
Right.
championship. But then I ask myself, even if you are, is that how you want to win? I
Hmm.
think I think we lose track of that. Then I don't know. You probably don't remember the year in Boulder that we lost in the semis in the
Oh, I
Louisville
remember.
Slugger tournament. Well, in pool play, we're playing a team from Minnesota, and the Minnesota coach was there, and a bunch of D1 coaches were there. And the other coach, we were losing by 1 at the time. I mean, obviously, they weren't around when we were around when the tournament mattered, but that's why I'm laughing. She's stalling, going out to the pitcher, people tying their shoes. And I walk over and the umps are like, you can't walk over. I'm like, do you understand what she's doing? Like, look at all these college coaches in the stands, and she's worried about winning a game instead of getting extra reps for her players.
Hmm.
Like, that's like a sin. Like, these parents are paying money to go to a showcase, back to number one, and you're sitting there trying to win the game on ways that you don't even really win a softball game.
Hmm.
Time. Like, it's the dumbest thing. It's an untimed sport. Oh, the lady was so mad and started reading her resume to me. And you know what? God bless them. They got that win. But in the big
Yeah.
scheme of things, some of her players lost out.
Yeah. All right, I got another one.
Okay,
I'm gonna make this a two-parter because they kind of go
that's
together.
not allowed.
Um, Coaches who say you shouldn't play another sport and or that travel practice trumps high school practice.
Boy, the multi-sport one,
Those kind of go together. That's why I put
well,
them
yeah,
together.
I mean, a lot of my high school girls right now are playing basketball, and I have a girl wrestling. I have, and you know what I tell them all, Coach, I can't go to open gyms. I'm like, I don't want you to go to open gyms. You're doing something better than an open gym right now. You're actually competing, like your
Hmm.
mental toughness, your mindset. You're getting after it. That's great. Now, when you come into the softball season, and listen, I'm sure they sneak their practices on Sundays, you know that type of thing for the multi-sport stuff, but they're being better people because of it.
Hmm.
And as far as the travel practice, if you have a coach that's emphasizing travel practice over high school practice, I'll say it right now, the coach needs to get over themselves because I mean, you're talking about a community school. You grow up there, you play 7 innings, you're trying to win a championship versus something you pay to go do. It doesn't even make sense to me. Your
Hmm.
thoughts?
I mean, I would definitely agree. I think that at that point, and that's what I tell my girls too, like go play for your school, go be a game changer, right? We're training you to go help your school. We're training you to help you get recruited. And the more you go compete, and I like the way you said that, is I'd rather have you competing in any sport over a simulation of a practice any day, right? Like if you're going to play in a sectional final of a basketball game and that means you're missing a pool play game of softball, go do it, right? Like I think that it's really interesting to me how some coaches say, I cannot believe that you're letting your teammates down and you're missing our Saturday pool play game when your high school team is making a run for the state championship. Like I've literally seen scenarios like that play out
Makes no
before,
sense.
and it's just really, really interesting to me. And I think I would just ask the coaches who feel that way, why? Like, what is it for? And I think that goes back to what are your intentions of coaching? Because to me, right, like that's something, how dare she let her other teammates down that are making that state title run? So I think when you flip the script like that, it doesn't make a lot of sense in my opinion. But
Yeah, and it's the timing of it. Like travel balls in the summertime and school balls in the spring. I mean, some states have it in the fall. That's another story. But even so, like
mhm.
go play for something. Go play with meaning. Go play for a purpose. Sometimes I don't even know with travel ball what the purpose and meaning is if you're not somewhere trying to be recruited. I
Mhm.
that's a bold statement because I understand you do have teammates and close connections, but what are you ultimately playing for?
Well, I think that it's a great point, and I think I will say right now, whether you want to get recruited or not, there is a spot to play for you on a team somewhere. And I think you agree with that too. There's a spot to
Yep.
play for everybody. However, I think it's important to find a group of people and be on a team who have similar expectations as you. Right? If you don't want to play in college, find a team of other girls who don't want to
Right.
play in college. If you want to play in college, find a team of 12 girls that want to play in college. And I think that's where things get mixed up, and then coaches have different expectations, and then you're trying to hold a team of 6 girls who want to play and 6 girls that don't, all to the standard of girls who want to play at the D1 level, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I want to get back to the multi-sport thing because that's near and dear to my heart. I mean, you and your sister sacrificed a lot as far as even potential recruiting possibilities because you played on a really good basketball team that was, a powerhouse in the state. It takes a lot of commitment. But I think you both survived college because you had that competitive spirit from that sport as well. You lost out in the weight room at first, right?
Mhm.
You might have lost out on some skill sets or some camps you could have went to. But
Mhm.
I don't think the stuff you learned from playing other sports, I think that's what gets you through college. And then one more note, sometimes it's okay to play multiple sports where maybe softball is your favorite sport and you're dominant, but the other sport, you may be more of a role player or you may be
Mhm.
a bench player. And I think that's a perspective that gets lost. All of a sudden you come back to your sport and you treat the bench players differently. You are just happy to be there every day. You have energy. I don't
Mhm.
see any downside in playing multiple sports. And for those people that say you could get hurt doing it, you could get hurt walking down the steps.
I could
Like,
trip over a curb tomorrow. I
and I
I
think,
tripped over a curb running the other day.
well, and I think it's good cross training, and I think it prevents some overuse too. I mean,
Hmm.
we could bring a doctor on it to talk about all that. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I feel. I don't see any downside to playing at least one other sport. You can't just do the same thing all year long. And if your travel coach is telling you that, or any coach, then that's on them because they're just selfish.
Yeah. All right, you got another one?
Yeah, we'll go with last one. This will be
Whoa, I
five.
got another.
Oh, well, then I guess we'll go
Yeah.
with one more after this. How about the coaches that say, I'm just doing this to prepare you for
I
college?
was literally gonna say that, so I guess
Uh,
this is not.
oh, is that the one you're going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, how do they speak to you? Like, especially in adversity.
Okay. So, same type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm speaking to you this way, or I'm being hard on you this way, or I'm pulling you out of a game because that I'm preparing you for college. Well, a lot of
So
people that have played college softball.
I have a lot of thoughts on this actually, because here's the thing. Tough love can get you places, right? Coaches being hard on you, 100% necessary. You need to be able to take criticism. I completely understand all that and I am for it. However, when it gets to the point and you're playing a travel sport and you are max 16, 17 years old and you constantly have a coach telling you, you're doing this wrong. You're never going to play in college if you keep doing that. You can't even handle me. How are you going to go to college? What the heck are you doing? Using more colorful language than that. Screaming at you when you do things wrong. Not only is it not going to make you, it's going to make you maybe not want to play in college, it's going to make you lose your love for the sport. And then number two, potentially feel really bad about yourself, right? I mean, I've had coaches growing up in different sports where I go home after practice and I feel worse off about myself than I did when I got there. And I don't think that's a good sign. Or I go to a practice, I get home and I feel worse about myself when it's supposed to be a game. So, and don't get me wrong, there's days when my performance was not good and that was on me. However, when you're constantly being belittled by a coach and after a game going around saying, we lost because you did this, or hey, you dropped a fly ball in the outfield, I'm pulling you out of the game in the middle of it to come sit on the bench. Like,
That
I don't
sounded
necessarily
personal.
think,
That sounded personal.
well, I don't, I think those are things that it's just, and again, like people learn differently, right? I always told, I told my college coach this, I'm like, you could scream at the top of your lungs at me or talk to me the way I'm talking to you all right now, and I would receive it the exact same way. Like, there's no need to get like screamed at, but some people handle it differently.
Well, I think a lot of people that survive the tough love is because they have good parenting at home, or
Hmm.
good support. It doesn't have to be parenting, but good support. And your mother and I used to phrase it like this sometimes. We get tired of people that say, oh, they're just being tough. They're just setting them up for their future. They're just making them tough skinned. And we would look at people and say, well, if my daughter ever married somebody like that, that would be domestic violence or abuse, not
Yeah,
violence. It'd be a
yeah.
domestic abuse. Like, why is it different? Because it's sports. Sometimes the tougher thing to do is to move on. But you can't move on if it's high school, or you're stuck on a travel team for a year, or
Mhm.
obviously you're going to justify it in ways you feel trapped, and that's where you just try to work through it. And when you work through it, whether it was a good or bad experience, it does make you better and stronger. But
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I feel it just doesn't have to be that journey, if
Well,
that makes sense.
I
There's
feel
other
like
ways to there's other ways to get through adversity.
these are the same coaches that you ask them something and they say, "'Cause I said so." It's like it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And again, like there were times when I needed to be yelled at, like 100%,
100%.
and I knew I deserved it. However, it's the little comments of, oh, or I hear coaches say this to other girls and it breaks my heart, like what are you doing? Why would you do that? You're not trying. Like all these little comments that then accumulate to then make girls want to stop playing. So honestly, I think if you're able, one of the things I would do before you sign up to play with a travel team, go watch them play and literally just look if the girls look like they're having fun. That's it. Like, just go watch the game, look at the players, look at the parents. Do they look like they're having fun? I think that's a great telltale sign of what the culture is like on that team.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, we made a nice list, and obviously some of this has come from personal experience.
Hmm.
But that's the whole
But a
point.
lot of it's just come from things we've heard too.
Yeah. And when I know this much, anytime we saw a red flag and moved on, I mean, we didn't move on a lot, but when we moved on, it was a big deal, a big step. We made better friends.
Hmm.
And you leave some people behind, but it doesn't mean you're not friends with them anymore. But they're just looking for something different. And that's where you have to go through all this. If you see a red flag, if you move on, it will be a better place for you.
Now, the one thing I will say about all this, because I also know girls on the flip side who have gone to like 10 different travel teams because everything's a red flag.
Well, no,
So
that's a great point.
I
Well,
think I,
we had five that I don't think people going to a bunch of different teams are going to use these same five.
no, but all I'm saying is whenever we did move or we think about these things, the first thing we did was self-reflect, which we've
Yes.
left out of saying in this episode is I think it's really important before you start saying like, "Oh, my coach did this to me, my coach did this." Like, okay, did you play any part in it? Is there any part that you can take ownership
Mm,
of or get better from? Because I think it's really important. Sometimes girls miss that piece or parents miss that piece of, is there anything
yeah.
I could be doing different? Because I think sometimes you get to a point where let's say you've gone to 10 travel organizations and it's maybe like, maybe what could I be doing different? And then you start to say that to yourself.
You know what's funny though? I'm looking through this list. We didn't really say much about playing time or
Well, that's
being a good
earned.
teammate.
That's
Yeah,
earned.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this list. If you use these red flags, I mean, first of all, you should self-reflect
Hmm.
because maybe you're new to a situation or you're seeing something in a way other people aren't seeing it. Yes. Uh, but at the end of the day, man, these red flags are red flags. We've seen it.
Yeah, so read us back. Let's summarize. What do we got?
Showcases and it comes to, you know, not batting people, run differential, is anybody there getting players in when the coaches are there? Does the coach love the game? Like, are they praising moments for everybody? Or are they always looking at the negative and just trying to win? And then that goes into the next one, your travel record, meaning how are you trying to win games? That's like the record we said is okay, but if they're timed and you're trying to stall and you're only pitching your best pitchers during pool play. And then four was the whole point of playing multiple sports. And then at the same token, thinking you have to go to your travel sport first over any other sport. And then five was just how they treat you and respect. It's going to be different in college and how they talk to you and how they portray the next 4 years after high school will be. So
Yeah, it's a good
it's awesome.
list. Good stuff.
All right. I mean, obviously we had a lot to say about this. This was a lot of fun, but again,
It's
it
important.
yeah, and with the game of life, I mean, it doesn't mean you can't overcome any of these things and you can't move on. And I think we have a hard time sometimes of forecasting how we think everything's going to turn out and then our reality. So how you deal with the reality at the end of the day, you're going to be more prepared for your future, if that makes sense.
100%.
All
Yep.
right, Allie, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Bye.